Here we are at Nationals Park in beautiful Washington, D.C. It's the Miami Marlins up against the Washington Nationals, two division rivals in the National League East. The rubber match of this three-game series. First game, the Nationals won 5-0, and the second game, the Marlins ended up winning. So here we go, the rubber match of the series. It is in Washington, so here we go, though. Marlins up first. Christian Yelich leading this off up against Gio Gonzalez, who the Nationals ended up trading for a couple years ago, and this guy has been really good for them in the past ever since they got him. I mean, he was up there for being a Cy Young candidate a couple years ago, and Gio Gonzalez has turned out to be one of the better lefties in the game of baseball. Definitely a really good pitcher. So now starting off this game, though, Donovan Solano will end up getting on base, and then later on, Giancarlo Stanton's going to get a single, but Donovan Solano got a little bit too greedy there, trying to lug that one out and get on over to third, and he was out now. 1-2 count. Giancarlo's on first, and Casey hits McGee. Well, he's not going to get a hit there. That one will be easily on-fielded for Ian Desmond on over to the second baseman for the third out of the inning, and Gio Gonzalez gets out of that inning and work just like that. Now the starting lineup for the Washington Nationals, the home team. Ian Desmond is leading it off. Ian Desmond, he's one of the more underrated guys in the game. I think he's a solid player. He's a guy that he's good for what he is. I like him on the Nationals. I don't know how he would do with another team, but I do like Ian Desmond, and I know that they like him also as well. He's a good guy to have in that leadoff role. So guys like Ryan Zimmerman in that lineup, Bryce Harper, Jason Worth, who here just strikes out. And I mean, this whole lineup, it has potential. It's a matter of reaching that potential. And now, as far as the guy who's pitching for the Marlins today, that'd be Tom Kohler, a young pitcher who made this team out of spring training as a fifth starter. We'll have to see how he does on the year, though. I do like Kohler. I think he could do well for us on this year, but as long as he get help out in the field, I mean, come on, what is this right now? Two, and then you go back here, another horrible throw. Two back-to-back horrible throws. One of them is going to be an error, and a runner is going to come across off that Bryce Harper. I guess that's a single there, or a fielder's choice, but man, that was just not a good play at all. Kohler would come back, though, and strike out first baseman Adam LaRoche. So Kohler, 2 runs across so far. You just have to relax, calm down, settle in, and just keep dealing, and then hopefully your offense will come around and start scoring you some runs. So there we go. We get out of the inning, Kohler. Just, put your head up, keep your head high, and, just keep dealing, and don't worry about those 2 runs. So now later on, Garrett Jones is up at the plate, and Garrett Jones looks like this one is going to be doubled down the line, and Garrett Jones will end up reaching in on second here with a double. Doesn't have the best speed, but if he was a Dee Gordon or a Billy Hamilton, then would he have been able to get a triple there? Not exactly sure, but later on, though, looks like the Marlins almost ended up grounding out into a double play there, Marcell Ozuna. But the runner will come across after the bad throw going on over to first, so it'll be 2-1 Marlins. Now later on, the third baseman to Zimmerman, and then on over to second to first for the double play, and the Nationals get out of the inning. 2-1. Marlins are still in striking distance, however. Now Tom Kohler back out on the mound, dealing. Down goes the leadoff hitter, Ian Desmond. Kohler, hey, he's having his good fair share of moments right now up there, and hey, I mean, just got to keep your head up high, and there you go, another strikeout for him. Hey, he'll take it, though. Kohler is dealing on the day. Keep your head up high, and hopefully your offense will produce. Now, later on, Christian Yelich is going to help out his team here and get into scoring position with Giancarlo up and steal this bag here. So now Giancarlo has a chance to do some damage. 0-2 count with 2 outs. Yelich after stealing, and strike 3. Giancarlo Stanton, sit down. Giancarlo is quickly going to become one of the better players in the game and have the best pure power out there in the major leagues. But there, trying out did not help out your case with a runner on base, and especially in scoring position after stealing that base for Yelich. Did not help out. And later on, though, the Nationals dugout is really liking this. Ryan Zimmerman, home run, solo jack, 3-1 ball game. Now Bryce Harper's up later on, and Giancarlo is going to track this one down in right field. So now the Marlins would have got out of the inning, and now it's still a 3-1 ball game. Now Jared Saltalamacchia is up, and he will ground this one out to the shortstop, Ian Desmond, and they will get out of the inning just like that. And Nationals, I mean, hey, they're getting their runs slowly, but they are producing a little bit. Gio Gonzalez having a good game so far up to this point, and then there goes Danny Espinosa striking out. So the Marlins and the Nationals, they're both having pretty solid games. This is a good game up to this point so far with a couple nice runs, but also some nice pitching at the same time. And now speaking of nice pitching, there we go. Tom Kohler strikes out Gio Gonzalez. Now later on, though, Kohler's going to come out dealing again, and this one's going to be hit to the center fielder, Marcell Ozuna, and the Nationals will get on base, and specifically Jason Worth will get on base with a single. Now 2-2 count. 2 outs, and that one's going to be hit on over to the hot corner for Casey McGee. He's going to be able to stab at that one, though, and get the last out of the inning. McGee, hey, just hit some nice balls for us, play decent defense at third, and you'll be around on this team for a good amount of time, though. I'll tell you that, Mr. Hits McGee. Now, later on, Giancarlo Stanton, this guy, he's just a beast, man. Drives in an RBI single there, and now it's a 3-2 ball game. Now, here he is, hits McGee. He's up, and this one's going to be grounded out to the second baseman, though, on over to the shortstop, on over to first for the double play. That's not going to help out your cause, though, McGee. But hey, I do like McGee a lot, and I would like to see him for a good amount of time on this ball club for the foreseeable future. Now later on, Kohler, he's dealing again. He's striking out a lot of guys today, just like Jose did on opening day. Except this time he's not running into as much trouble as Jose did. Later on, Garrett Jones is going to have a stab at this one, and that will be an out. He'll step on the bag there. Now Garrett Jones is up at the plate. Garrett Jones, this one's going to be hit into, it looks like right field, and it will, in between the gap, and Garrett Jones is going to be hustling on over to second for his second double on the day, sliding in safely. So there we go, Garrett Jones, he's helping out his team. Now later on, Joey Gonzalez, after a solid day from the lefty, another lefty would come in Jerry Blevins, to try and cool down this kind of offensive, outburst that's kind of happening here with the Marlins. He will here striking out catcher Jared Saltalamacchia. Garrett Jones still on second base, though, and the Marlins still are in striking distance. Now a pinch hitter's coming in for the pitcher here. Reed Johnson's coming in, and that will single at the end of the day for Tom Kohler. Kohler did have a solid day up through these 6 innings of work that he's had up to this point. Now later on, Reed Johnson, though, that single, though, down the third base line, tie ball game. Here we go. Reed Johnson coming up big here, and now later on, 3-3 game. Carter Capps is coming in the bottom of the 7th inning to see what he can do. Capps, you just need to be solid. Do what you got to do. Now 2-2 count. Strike 3. There we go. Nice breaking ball. Strikes out Nate McLouth. Capps, he's a young guy who I like on this team, who they acquired in the offseason as part of the Logan Morrison trade. If you can just do this, pitch and pitch a good amount of innings too. I would like to see some innings out of these relievers as the year goes on. Just do what he's doing right now. Strike out some batters. Now 1-2 count, 2 outs, and there we go. Another strikeout. 3 strikeouts in this inning to get all 3 outs. And if you do that, Capps, or for any reliever, you'll definitely have a role on this team. Later on, he picks off right where he left off in the last inning. Here we go, Jason Worth, strike 3. Now 1-2 count, 1 out, strike 3. 5 strikeouts for Carter Capps. Carter Capps was dealing. Hey, this guy's not the best reliever out there, but he is dealing 5 strikeouts in his 2 innings of work. You gotta love that. Now later on, Jared Saltalamacchia is up, and Saltalamacchia is going deep, gone. Home run, Jared Saltalamacchia. There we go. That's what I want to see from Saltalamacchia. Top of the 9th inning comes up huge in a tie ball game. Now it's 5-3, and here comes in Steve Cishek to try and close out this game. 2-2 count to Bryce Harper. Strike 3. Guess I'm chasing that one low in the dirt. Now there we go. 1 out in the ball game. Cishek, I love him. He's a great closer, one of the more underrated ones in the game. Now 2 outs later on to end the ball game. Greg Dobbs over at first base after a pinch runner for Garrett Jones in the 9th inning, and there we go. He gets the final out. Easy little can of corn for him, and that is your ball game. Marlins win. They come back. 5-3 game. Kohler pitched really well. Capps. Man, Carter Capps 5 strikeouts out of the 6 batters he faced. If you do that, you will definitely have a future in that bullpen out there in Miami. Someone else that also could have a nice future with the Miami Marlins, at least for the foreseeable future, is Garrett Jones. He had a great game today. 2 doubles, was definitely a big part of the victory today versus the Washington Nationals. A couple really nice doubles, the one on the gap, the one down the third base line earlier. He was just great. He got on base, which is what we need him to do. Great pitching. Kohler had a good game, etc. Capps, Giancarlo was good. Ross Ramirez versus Henderson Alvarez, guys. Always headed over the Green Monster.